Hey there, you are listening to Decaf, a production of the Beacon Center of Tennessee. I'm Taylor Dawson, the host, and as always, we're joined by my friend Mark Cunningham. Mark, how's it going today?
It's good. Call me friend. That's a real improvement from what you normally call me.
I know, is this a lie? Did I start off the podcast with a lie?
I think we're going to be happy and nice today.
Okay, we're going to be happy and nice today. I've had no caffeine. I've got my cup of coffee right over here, and I really need to drink it. But I've been good this morning. I already worked out, and I've already, done podcast planning. I guess I'll catch up on that tonight when I'm asleep by 9 p.m. But as for now, things are good. Mark, let's jump right in and talk about something that's going on right here in Tennessee. So we all know, well, if we don't all know, we're about to all know that Tennessee students take standardized tests each year called TNReady. And scores were slipping on the TNReady tests around the pandemic just because of learning loss and having to go virtual and not being able to be as engaged as normal. And this year, the scores were up a bit. But before we get too excited, we also need to consider that up a bit it's still not great. So this year, the study results showed that 36% of students are on track for language arts and English. 36 isn't great. It's better than 29, which was last year, but there's still a long way to go. And I don't know how we get back to that. I mean, we have some ideas, but there's a lot of things that go into something like this. Like, we need options for parents. We need the ability to seek tutoring if these children need it. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this, but at least we're on the up and up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to look at that and hear that 36% of people are at their grade level. And the scarier thing, which I think you see now with a lot of, the progressive left, is only 34% understand math, it turns out. So I think you're seeing how they grow.
Not great.
But no, I do think that this is something that is really problematic. And we should always, we'll never be perfect. You should always applaud improvement. So anytime you're moving up,
absolutely,
and you're not trying to trash them. But we're right now putting kids in the place where they have a hard time succeeding in life if they can't read and write and understand basic math. And to be clear, that means not even half of the kids are at the grade level they should be.
No.
That's a real red flag.
And you look at a lot of the things in the workplace these days, and someone will say, oh, they're a good writer, we should hire them. And it's like, well, you're not even talking about like conceptually good writer, like being able to craft the next great American novel. We're talking about like knowing where the comma goes and knowing what tense of verb to use. And that's a really low bar. And, I had an incredible English teacher all through elementary and high school that taught me all these things. And now I edit Mark's blog posts and stuff. Like, I'm very thankful for that, and it's helped me so much, but the bar is so low, and it's kind of sad. And one of the things I want to say about the TNReady test, and all standardized tests for that matter, is do you really know if that is an accurate representation of what a child knows, or are they being taught to the test? It's really hard to determine that, and oftentimes these children don't know until they get in college and they're really tested, or they get in the workplace and they're really tested, what they know and what they don't know, because their whole lives they've been taught to a test. So I can go off on that, but I won't. But I just wanted to bring that up.
If they're being taught to the test, they're doing a terrible job. If only 36% people
I know
being taught to the test. It's something we heard in Memphis during our focus groups and our listening tours, that we heard people say, look, you have kids that aren't reading that are graduating. People are, some of these schools are passing these people despite clearly not being at grade level. And sometimes they're not at grade level. They're 5-6 grades under where they should be, and they keep passing. So, like, just because they have a degree, if they don't know how to read or write, then it's not helping them at all. And we have to get back to the point where we can't consider this acceptable in any way. We can't say this is okay. Like, it's great that it's improving, but 36% is not okay. And I looked at all the, ELA, you're talking about science, it's all under 40% of people at grade level.
It's not great.
So you need to say there's got to be something that changes. Yeah, it's great to go up a little bit, but this idea that we're going to put more money into it, it's not going to change it. It's not changed it ever before. It will have a minimal impact, if any impact. And we have to figure out, what are the options? What can we do to actually make sure that these kids are at grade level and that they're put in the position to succeed as adults? It's not working right now. We need major overhaul of the education system in Tennessee, with school choice, with different programs, whether it's learning, and some things, like some of these things are okay, right? Like, we want kids to be able to read and write, But if you want to be an auto mechanic, that's great. But you should still be able to read and write. So that's what you're doing for. So, and again, we don't blame teachers. I think that a lot of them are put in bad positions, and maybe there is some bad teachers. I'm not arguing that, but this is a system-wide failure. And this is a system-wide failure throughout a lot of Tennessee, throughout a lot of the United States. And you see kind of the difference. There's schools that do well, but we can't be okay with this being the norm. And we have to do something, and it can't wait. And that's what we have to talk about.
I agree. It can't wait. Let's end it on that. It can't wait. Let's find some solutions and keep an eye on Beacon, because we may or may not have some solutions coming down the pipe soon. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about somebody who needed to do better in English.
This is rough.
This is a rough intro. But the other day, the POTUS official Twitter account tweeted that it was on the 4th, actually, tweeted that the people who are running gas stations, the oil industry, needed to lower the cost of gas. And the U.S. oil industry tweeted back and said, "Thanks for your input and have a happy 4th, Mr. President. And tell the intern that wrote this tweet to sign up for Econ 101 in the fall." Yikes. Okay. That was a major burn. It was beautifully constructed burn, but a major burn nonetheless. And it's just going to show that there are some failings in the comms department of the Biden White House. Jen Psaki quit. Who was the one that quit this week, Mark?
Kate Bedingfield, who's the comms director.
Kate Bedingfield quit. Maybe it's not that they need help in English. Maybe it's that they need help in just standard marketing, which if that's your profession and you're doing it at the White House level, you should have you should think about things a little more, plan them out before you go. But things are really not looking so hot in the comms department of the White House, and that is not a good place for a shortcoming if you are the president.
Yeah, I've read a whole story about it, and essentially Jen Psaki is actually pretty well respected. You know, I know a lot of people that I know don't like her, but she's not bad at her job. She does a pretty good job, and I know that they hired somebody who has not had great reviews so far, has not done a great job in the media. And his messaging was already not great to begin with. And
not great.
And basically you have Democrats complaining about this, saying like, I don't understand the messaging. I don't understand where things are. It's not clear what he's actually doing and where he stands, because he puts out kind of messages that don't always coincide with each other. So it's a really rough go for the president right now. It's hard because a lot of things, as we talk about, are his fault. I do feel a little bit bad because he is blamed for everything. Everything. I mean, so was Trump. I mean, it's one of those things that like Trump had his own issues, but like the people on the left blamed him for every single thing that went wrong, and then never gave him credit when it went right. And I feel like Biden's in a similar situation. We're just at a point in the country where people are really, really unhappy with the Biden administration.
I agree.
And I don't know if there's any way that he can really dig himself out. I mean, I saw that for the midterm elections, it's his polling numbers are like 7 or 8 points behind where Obama's were, and like 5 points below where Trump's were at this point. And both their parties got beat pretty bad. So like, it is not looking good for him. And
it's not good.
I don't even know what advice I'd give him, because I feel like it's hard. I mean, my advice would be maybe come to the middle and try to find actual solutions to these problems, rather than he's kind of making this more of a partisan, like, let me attack the right for inflation, and let me talk about how the gas companies are greedy and that's why inflation's happening, when obviously that's not correct.
I think the best advice is something that we learn like in high school or in middle school, which is take responsibility for what you've done wrong and try to work with someone else to fix it. And I don't foresee that happening in the next few months, few years, whatever. I don't foresee that happening. And it's really sad because Americans, Tennesseans especially, are suffering. Like, we have a great economy in Tennessee, but things that are coming from the federal level reach us eventually, and they've reached us. At the gas, the groceries, the clothes, everything that we're trying to buy is so expensive. And for us, a state that is in large part very conservative, very freedom-minded, Biden did not win Tennessee. And so to see, he did not. So to see a president who most Tennesseans didn't vote for, not taking a step back and saying, this is where my shortcomings have been and this is how I want to fix it, instead just like lobbing Molotov cocktails onto the already burning fire, it's not pretty, and Tennesseans are not happy with it.
Yeah, our last two presidents, including President Trump, neither have been great at taking responsibility for their shortcomings. That's not something they've done well. I think that when you look at it, President Trump had probably a lot more successes when it came to the economy, but when things went wrong, I mean, he didn't take responsibility either. So I think it has to do with it's an ego thing, right? And I think that a lot of times to get to president, you almost need to have this ego where you can't take responsibility, and you have all your advisors telling you, oh, say this, say that, don't take responsibility because people aren't going to vote for you. But it's just a sad state of affairs. And I think that the hopefully for Biden, his new comp team that comes in will have a more consistent messaging. I don't think so, though. I think that it might just be too far gone for him to get out of it.
Who was the press secretary on West Wing, CJ?
Oh, I never watched West Wing.
Oh my gosh, Mark, you would love West Wing. But CJ was the press secretary, and I think the President Biden needs a CJ in his life. And if you're listening to this and you know who CJ is, you know what I mean. She was able, she had a good head on her shoulders. She was very moral, and she was able to get things done. So the Biden administration needs a CJ in their lives.
Ari Fleischer's a good choice too.
Ari Fleischer, okay.
He was the last press secretary that I remember being really, really great at what he did. And Dana Perino was excellent too.
Dana was great. She took a shoe to the face and kept going. Remember when someone threw a shoe at George W. Bush and she took it to the face? Yeah, that's right. She took it to the face and kept going.
Pakistan or something, right?
Yeah, it was somewhere in the Middle East, and someone threw a shoe at her, and she just didn't skip a beat. And I love that for her. So yeah, maybe bring back old Dana. That would be awesome. So Mark, I heard a little birdie told me that you and your wife have taken up tennis playing. That's exciting.
We haven't actually a fun fact because I was looking at our tennis schedule. So we're very beginners, like the most beginners you can. So I played in high school, but I haven't played in 15 years.
Sure.
So we lost the first one 6-1, 6-0. But the second
not
one,
great.
we lost, I think, 6-3, 6-2. So we are getting better. And Michael
stair-stepping,
who is the CEO of the Tennessean, is in our league. I think we actually play him coming up. So I don't think that's going to go well, but it's interesting that he's in our little Franklin tennis league. But yeah, it's been fun, and we're getting better. And more importantly, it's like unlike you, maybe I don't get excited about working out. Sometimes it's hard for me to bring myself to do it. But this is one way where I actually get excited. It's like, oh, it's cool to play. No matter how much it is, it's cool to play competitive tennis. And it's competitive, maybe not from our end, but
competitive for you, not against you.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's cool to get this workout in, and it feels like you're back in high school playing sports that matter or something. So just kind of a cool thing where I don't actually think, oh God, I don't want to work out at all. It's a good way to stay in shape, and it's something that I don't hate doing. So it's kind of a good compromise. People
are really picking it up. I actually talked to my mom the other day, and I'm going to get my dad's old tennis racket when I go home next time. And I'm going to start taking some lessons at the Y because people are enjoying it. And it really is a great workout. It's a lot of cardio. That's why everyone who plays at Wimbledon is in the best shape of their lives. Every time I watch Wimbledon, I'm like, these people are robots. They are in the best shape of any athlete I have ever seen because you're on your own out there. You're hustling. You got to have the muscles to stop, to launch the ball. You're doing this by yourself. Yeah. It is truly a feat of human excellence. Wimbledon is one of my favorite things in the world to watch because these athletes all have superpowers. It's insane.
And they have to be in perfect shape too, because they can't be too muscular. They still have to be pretty skinny, but then
agile,
muscular as you can possibly be while still being skinny. I watch some of the women man, these women are just they're so toned. Every muscle and their
so
legs
toned.
And their arms, yeah, you're right. It's it might be the sport where the people are in the best shape. And meanwhile, we watch a Pirates. We're in Pittsburgh. We just saw a Pirates game last night, and we saw Daniel Vogelback, who's 375 pounds and can play first base.
Just trying to run around the bases.
Yeah, so it's funny. This, it is you're right. It's peak excellence, and I don't usually watch it. I'm getting more into tennis, and I did bet on it beforehand. So I actually have hopefully both finalists. But it's been interesting to watch. And a really cool
things got spicy, didn't they? I didn't watch this, but what happened?
I'm going to mispronounce the name. So, but it's Tsitsipas and Kyrgios. Kyrgios is actually in the finals.
Sounds good.
Against probably when Nadal dropped out. He's actually in the finals here. But
okay.
They were just. I watched the match, and between matches, this guy was just between serves. He was saying "F you." He was taunting him after he got made points. He was yelling at the crowd. The other guy hit a ball into the crowd and almost hit somebody. And every single time, there was a lob, where somebody can spike it, he was trying to hit the guy and spike it on him. And John McEnroe, who, is not known for his good behavior, was announcing. No. He's this is an embarrassment to tennis. That is how bad it was. And the crowd was just yelling. It was just a wild game. And I know that it reminded you of a hockey game. But like I had never seen
Whoa.
that before in tennis, and honestly, they were both way out of line.
And at Wimbledon, Wimbledon's like the classiest thing. They have to wear white. The Royals go. Like, it is the most classy sporting event, not hockey where everyone's got 30% of their teeth. Like, this is Wimbledon. Come on.
McEnroe kept saying, he's like, this is Wimbledon. How are they acting this way? And like this like nice thing. It's like, and the guy got in trouble for cursing. Like, you heard F-bombs, you heard taunting while he was serving. And then like it's really classes to try to hurt somebody by hitting them with the ball. And anytime you hit the ball into the crowd, like that was the other guy's Civitas, I guess. And it's like you could hurt somebody. I mean, they hit the ball hard.
You could hurt someone. Like, the Royals are there. You could hurt a Royal.
They don't matter.
You know, I care. Okay, well, I really care about the Royals, and if you hurt Princess Kate, I'm going to be very upset. But that is not Wimbledon behavior, and it was sad to see Nadal out. I know Matteo Berrettini, or however you say his name, he got COVID a few weeks ago and couldn't play, and he came in second last year, and I really like him.
It's been crazy too, because so he basically, I think
that was wild,
broken ribs or something, and he actually ended up winning the 5th set of a 2-2 thing with his ribs messed up. So he came back and won, and then he's like, I can't go on. His dad kept telling him to come off, and he's like, I'm finishing this out. And then when I tell you top performance athletes, that is what we're talking about. Best athletes in the world. But that is, I mean, they're the best athletes in the world, but they're very good at tennis, and they're in the best shape. I'm just saying. I think they are world-class athletes. I would say that. Maybe they can't dunk. I don't know, though. Don't put it past them. They might have a better high jump than you think, vertical jump than you think. Who knows? But we will keep an eye on Wimbledon, because my mom texts me updates constantly, and so I am expected to watch Wimbledon. So, and also in the women's thing, Iga Swiatek, I think that's how you pronounce her name, but she had won 38 straight matches. So she had won, I think, 3 straight majors too, and she lost the second round of this. So there's going to be a new champion in the women's Wimbledon too. Is going to be, I think, somebody who's never won before, no matter who it is. That's beautiful to see. I mean, we love seeing somebody have their dreams come true for the first time. There's gonna be a lot of tears on the court that day, which is really sweet to see. This is the bougiest thing we've ever talked about is Wimbledon as the sport. Talking about tennis as the sport. It's usually like the draft, football, basketball, like baseball. But first, I'm talking about like a real classy sport. To be fair, I always try to get you to talk about these things, and you always say, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares. So I'm glad that you are getting on board with my country club sports. I still think nobody cares. I just watch it so I can talk about it. Normally it's just talking about some people I've never heard of. But I bet on it. I watched it this year, so I was interested. Okay, I love it. I'm bringing you to the dark side, or to the light side, because they wear white at Wimbledon. I don't know what I'm saying. You need to do tennis next year, by the way. I think if you do these lessons, you could do the doubles, because we have mixed doubles, and you can play with Soto. I mean, he's not great, but okay. I'm in. You know, I'm a competitor. If I can fight, I will compete. So watch your back. I just want to get one win. That's the reason I'm asking you to do it, so we can finally get one. Oh my gosh! Don't. I'm an athlete. Don't try me. Okay. Let's talk about the 4th of July before we go. I had a great 4th. I hope that you did too. I got really sunburned. I went out to the pool at 9:00 in the morning before anyone got there, and I read my book for 3 hours in silence with an iced coffee, and I got so sunburned. It was really bad. I had one of those floats that you can you're completely above water, and it's got the little headrest and a cup holder in it. So I had my Kindle, and I just read my book with my iced coffee, and I thought I was living the dream. And then I came in for lunch to have my first of 4 hot dogs of the day. And I came in for lunch, and my shoulders, I saw myself in the mirror. Things are bad. Things are still bad. But it was still a great 4th nonetheless. Mark, did you have a great day? Yeah, Kira's family was home. So her mom and dad came from Texas. So we just hung out with them. We had chicken sausage. I don't like hot dogs. I don't know if you know, which is weird. That is weird. Sounds like you come with 4 hot dogs is impressive. Okay. Joey Chestnut is my inspiration, my role model. Good burgers, good. Yeah, and it was great. And I mean, 4th of July is I always hate how hot it is. That time. I know. I can't stand it. It's rough. So it's I don't want to be outside. And fireworks, it's it'd be cool to see fireworks, but I don't want to go outside in 100-degree weather to see them. So I'm just not that interested. It's tough. We didn't do a lot of fireworks. So I was at my friend's house, and his dog really doesn't like fireworks. And so I had to give the dog some drugs, and he went and hid in the upstairs closet, and we went out and watched the neighbors in the suburbs of Brentwood shoot off their fireworks. And actually on the night of the 4th, we finished Stranger Things, which I don't know if you're a Stranger Things guy, but we watched Stranger Things, and we went outside and watched fireworks between episodes. And it honestly was such a vibe. But every time we went outside, it felt like
I was sealed in a Ziploc bag because it was so humid and I felt so constrained. It was awful. Like I couldn't breathe. It was so humid on the night of the 4th. I don't love that. I don't love it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't understand that. This is going to be me talk. Like, I don't understand why people like Stranger Things. It just doesn't. It's not good. I don't really get it. It's a bunch of kids and like aliens or something. Like that doesn't. It's not. That's not a good premise for a show. Obviously, people disagree. I don't understand though.
Have you given it a chance?
Yeah, I watched the whole first season.
Oh, well, watch the second season and see what you think.
I don't
It's so good.
I don't think so.
It's,
but I do
it's so good.
I saw a great meme of like the Stranger Kid thing when it started, and then like the Stranger Kids things now, and they had the cast of grown ups. Yeah,
I saw that.
Funny, but that was
that was great. No, just give it a chance. Stranger Things is incredible. It's not necessarily
how much more of a chance do I need to give it? That's a long time.
Just wait until it gets a little later. It's a really good show toward the end, and the story gets really good.
I'm not going.
I promise.
I don't believe you because not that you're wrong, just that we don't have similar tastes in things.
That's true.
And
That's
the
fair.
entire season, that is giving it a chance. I think 2 or 3 episodes, like, fine, I get it, but I'm not saying I wouldn't like it, but I don't understand why people like it so much. There's these.
And speaking of not having the same taste in things, you don't like hot dogs, which is a whole other conversation. But is there anything that you do look forward to about the 4th of July? Like, do you have family traditions that you love?
This is a weird tradition, not family, but we used to always do we have our fantasy football league, and July 4th we would always do our draft lottery. So that's like where you pick in the draft. So you get like 3 different baseball teams that play on the 4th of July, and you add up their runs, and then just 3 random teams. So like the Braves, whatever, and then that's the order we pick in. So it's like you're watching all these games you don't care about from baseball. Be like, I just want to see where I'm going to pick at. So that was kind of a cool. We didn't do it this year, but that's kind of a cool, I guess, something that we had as a fantasy league, not family though.
I love that. My first trip to DC, I went to the National Archives and bought a T-shirt that had the Declaration of Independence printed on it, and now I wear it every 4th of July. And that's like kind of my thing.
You definitely had one of those Old Navy 4th of July shirts, right? The flag shirt.
Oh, yeah. I had them for every year until I said, I can't wear this anymore. Everyone's wearing it because I was a brat.
Parent buy the same thing. Every single parent got. I think they were like $5, right? It's like Old Navy somehow cornered the market on the 4th of July for a while.
Yes, they did. And they're back. They have like new shirts. They're still doing it.
I don't understand. That's a genius. Talk about good. Biden should hire the Old Navy flag shirt for his comms person, whoever marketed that idea. I don't know how they became like the go-to 4th of July thing.
I'm going to get you one next year. That'll be my gift to you for the 4th of July next year is an Old Navy shirt.
I think I'm good, but
don't worry. I'll outfit you in your perfect 4th of July shirt next year, and you'll be good to go. Mark, any final thoughts? Do we want to tell everyone what's coming up next week? If you're still listening at this point.
Yeah.
Beacon's getting a fresh new look next week. So pay attention. On Tuesday, visit our website and let us know what you think. We're not going to say
getting a fresh new sound for our podcast. So, I mean, things are going to be getting really interesting and exciting here. We're kind of upgrading everything we're doing. So it should be a good week.
Things are heating up. So keep an eye on us, and we will see you next week. Have a great day.